Well, that sucked. Oh man, this weekend really, really sucked. I'm going to make a few assumptions here. I'm going to assume that you have not checked the price of that you don't check the price of Bitcoin as much as I do, but you still obsess about it all the time, or if not Bitcoin, then cryptocurrencies in general. And if so, then you had an awful weekend. I already know it. And I had an awful, awful weekend. Just constantly checking the price. Here's my weekend. Overnight, price goes up. China for the win, I suppose. And then throughout the day, the price just kind of goes down and then does a little climb up. And at the same time, as it's climbing up, I'm thinking like, oh, this is a really weak bounce. We're going to go lower. And then it goes lower. And then a little trickle up and the same response again. Oh, that's a weak bounce. We're going to go lower. And then we go lower. And that happened all day Saturday and all day Sunday. It was a constant stomach punch. And here we are. We got down as low as $42,000 yesterday. And now for Bitcoin, we're at $45,000 and trying to figure out what's next. I have some thoughts, and there are short-term, definitely bullish opportunities short-term. I'm not super convinced that there's just so many different scenarios at play right now that, I could very easily tell you this is the dip, buy the dip. But there are things at play right now that are beyond typical scopes of understanding of what is supposed to happen with Bitcoin. Because, we're going off of two previous cycles. That's all we have. We have the 2013 bull run and 2017 bull run. And what if we are in a scenario similar? Well, no, let me just tell you this. The bull run is not over, okay? The bull run is not over. It is nowhere near over. But what if we have right now something like 2013 after that first blow off top, which we didn't have a blow off top this time. So maybe it's not going to be nearly as dramatic, but what if we have something like 2013, that first blow off top, when it went from $200 something all the way down to $70 and then climbed back. That's the price of Bitcoin being cut in thirds. Now, I don't think it's going to get like that, but there is a realm of possibility in my mind where we could go down further. Maybe it's like the price of Bitcoin topped at about a little under $65,000 right before that Coinbase listing. And what if we cut that in half? That would be $32,500. Now, that is on the very outside of the scope of possibilities, but it's there. It is there in my mind as a possibility. I don't want to just give you all roses and butterflies. I want to give you a perspective of just everything that I'm looking at, everything that I'm paying attention to, big scope things and little things. But the bull run is not over. And you've got to come to your own conclusions with that. Don't take my word. Now, for some of you, it's something I was thinking about. You might not even know what happened yesterday. Yesterday was a day that will go down in Bitcoin history as just like an unbelievable day, an amazing day. And obviously, when I say amazing, I'm not saying amazingly wonderful day. It was a crazy, crazy day, and it all happened on Twitter. And so for those of you who don't have Twitter accounts, you might not even know that yesterday was a high drama day on Twitter. So Elon Musk, and you know what? It's not Elon Musk's fault. I tweeted "Shut up, Elon" on Saturday night, and I'll tell you why I did that. But let's talk about yesterday real quick. No, let's talk about the events leading up to yesterday. Bitcoiners are a special form of retard. It's like no one's ever going to top Wall Street Bets people. They're number one. The Wall Street Bets people are the most retarded people on planet Earth. And number two is something like, I don't know, like vegans or something. And then number three is Bitcoiners. Bitcoiners are retarded. We have the Bitcoin image. If we, want to talk about an image, it has a great image with like this massive wart on the side of it. And that massive wart is Bitcoiners. And so when Elon Musk made that announcement that Tesla was no longer going to be accepting Bitcoin, Bitcoiners lost their minds. And they were immature, they were retarded, they were everything that, nothing was surprising at all. Nothing at all was surprising about the reaction by Bitcoiners. It's like none of you were complaining when Tesla bought $1.5 billion of Bitcoin earlier this year. But Tesla does something, and to be fair, their post about why they're not buying Bitcoin was absolutely ignorant. It was stupid, and good luck getting that thought into Elon Musk's head, because really, really smart people can do really, really dumb things. And if you are wondering with Elon Musk, like, well, what dumb things has Elon Musk done? Well, just look up his children's names, and in particular that one who I don't know how they pronounce his name. I'm assuming it's a he. But really, really smart people tend to do really, really stupid things. And so over the weekend, Elon Musk just like displayed his crypto ignorance for the world to see, and yet he thought that he in his mind he thinks that he's on par with the brightest minds in the world with crypto. It's just not true, and that's okay, Elon. It's okay. You can't be the smartest man in the room with everything. And so he tweeted all these things about Doge, and it's like the fact that he's supporting Doge, which is also proof of work, and Bitcoin is proof of work. The fact that he's like supporting one and trashing the other, I was just like, my eyes were rolling in the back of my head. I was like, Elon, shut up. And then Sunday came. Sunday was when Elon had, some of you may not like this, Elon turned into Donald Trump. He turned into Donald Trump yesterday. Okay, it's like, I was talking about this with some friends, and it actually wasn't about Elon. It was actually about Donald Trump. I had a conversation with some friends of mine about Donald Trump. And before I piss off some of you who may be Donald Trump supporters, listen. From my perspective, from an economic perspective, I was an economic major in college. There is no distinction fiscally between any of the presidents who have been president of the United States since Ronald Reagan. Okay, I dislike all of them. Okay, my hatred, not hatred, that's too strong. My disliking of presidents is bipartisan. I have not voted for the winner of the presidency in quite a while, of most of my adult life. Okay, let me just say that. But and while I say that, let me just rip on Donald Trump for a second and compare him to Elon Musk. Donald Trump is a child. Okay, this is what Donald Trump did with his Twitter account when he had access to it. Was childish. It's like, any little thing that upset you, you get on Twitter and you whine about it and complain about it, okay? It's like, there were some things that Donald Trump did that I actually really, really liked. But then his Twitter account, it was like facepalm. Elon responding to the Bitcoin retards yesterday turned into Donald Trump. And it got to its worst moment, probably the lowest moment yesterday, was when he implied that Bitcoin, or that Tesla had sold or was about to sell their Bitcoin. So here we go. Mr. Whale, Bitcoiners are going to slap themselves next quarter when they find out Tesla dumped the rest of their Bitcoin holders. With the amount of hate Elon Musk is getting, I wouldn't blame him. And then Elon responds, indeed. This is a tame tweet in comparison to some of the replies that he sent. There was something a really childish post that he made, or a tweet that he made about going all in on Dogecoin and stuff like that. And it was in response to a really long, it wasn't really all that bad of a thread, an open letter of sorts to Elon Musk. There were some other things as well. But this was kind of like the low point yesterday, where Elon Musk implied that perhaps Tesla was going to or had already sold their Bitcoin. And he clarified that this morning that no, they have not sold their Bitcoin. They're still holding on to it. But the reaction to this one word, indeed, was something else, man. And that sent the price of Bitcoin down to $42,000. Last I checked, it was at $45,000. We'll see. We'll see if that was the bottom. $42,000. There's absolutely a place in my mind. The most logical place in my mind says that 42,000 would be the bottom, and I'll get into why that's the case in a second here. But man, it was crazy. Just the non-stop back and forth. It was insane yesterday. That was an historic day for Bitcoin standards and Twitter standards. And so with all of that in mind, we've overreacted. The markets have overreacted. Bitcoin especially, I didn't buy much, but I bought some like at $43,000. I was like, I'm going to reach deep down to try to buy because this is an amazing buying opportunity. If it goes even lower, I'll reach down even further. I mean, business is going well. I'll take some of that capital that I was going to reinvest into my business and put it back into Bitcoin. But all right, enough of that. Let me just communicate to you. This is a buying opportunity, whether that's a local buying opportunity, whether that's a short-term, you want to just get in on short-term gains, or whether this is just the entry, an entry that shouldn't have existed, that does exist, and we'll see if we're done with the overreacting. There's a possibility that we're not done, but I want to show you a few charts, a few metrics to indicate just how amazing of a buying opportunity, at least a local buying opportunity, this is. So number one here, well, actually, this is not an indicator of that, but this is this is 2017. I've shared this chart plenty of times. I see it floating around Twitter, and I wanted to share it again. We are about 33% down from the 64,000 peak a few weeks ago. And in bull runs, in comparison to the 2017 bull run, this is nothing. I mean, look at this. Listen, it's easy looking back on it in 2017 and thinking like, yeah, it would have been easy to hold, to hodl throughout all that. No, trust me, these were scary times. 38% drop, 38% drop, 33% drop. We have not seen the 30s. In regards to a percentage drop this entire bull run up until yesterday, which, there were a lot of external factors that contributed to that. A lot of this in 2017 was organic. 38% drops there were no explanations other than it just got way too hot and then it had to cool off. And so just have that perspective, like, you would have been a lot more scared in 2017 throughout the peaks and the valleys. And, I mean, look at this wick here. If you can even see that, that was a wild wick, okay? So what else? What else do we have here? Fear and greed index. Again, I'm really a super strong believer in the fear and greed index. This was yesterday before the Twitter insanity with Elon Musk. It got down to a score of 20. And so now I'm dying to see what it is as a result of yesterday. I would guess like in the teens, maybe the lower teens. Yesterday was terrifying. And, trust me, it's like even though I have a solid foundation, even though I have a mentality, I will never sell my Bitcoin. Well, you know what I was really scared about? I wasn't scared about my Bitcoin. I was scared about my altcoins, because like altcoins throughout, in that at the end of the bull run in January 2018, the altcoin rally, a lot of those altcoins crashed 99%. I don't want to be holding those altcoins when they crash. And so I had to do a gut check and be like, all right, am I wrong? Because if I'm wrong, I am losing a lot of money in my altcoins. I don't care about my Bitcoin, so scary times. But buy when everyone is selling, sell when everyone is buying, be greedy when everyone is fearful. If you have the intestinal fortitude. Be greedy when everyone is fearful, and be fearful when everyone is greedy. Now is a time. I wish I had a crystal ball. I wish I could look into the future. Now is a time, based on every metric that I'm showing you, including this one, that you should be very greedy. But if you don't have the intestinal fortitude for that, I fully understand. I honestly can't tell you that I have the. I cannot tell you that I have the intestinal fortitude to pour lots and lots of money into it right now. Because who knows? Maybe we'll go lower, but I will pour a little bit of money. You absolutely better believe me. I will pour a little bit of money into it right now. So, what else do we have? NVT price. Oh man, this is rough. So this is. Oh man, how do I explain this? This is a chart illustrating the perceived value of Bitcoin. And I know that sounds kind of weird for me to say the perceived value of Bitcoin, but it's based on actual numbers. It's based on chain interactions between wallets of long-term holders. And this is a very technical and mathematical thing. These are numbers. These numbers are not lying, even though that word perceived price may kind of throw people for a loop. Anytime the price of Bitcoin gets below this perceived price, it has a bounce. And what's the perceived price? It's this blue line here. So you see, obviously, the coronavirus crash. Anytime it goes below that blue line, that is a great buying opportunity. All right, and so it got close to the blue line there. That was the bottom of the bear market in end of 2018. Even when it touched it, it was a great buying opportunity. And you can see, let's head over here throughout the bull run in 2017. There were plenty of times it got below that, and that was an amazing buying opportunity. Look at that. Look, if you're following my mouse, look at those dips right there. Amazing buying opportunity. Since this bull run is not over, that's the only thing that I'm really telling you. I mean, it could get very scary moving forward, but since this bull run is not over, here we go again. Below that perceived price, we've dipped, and we've dipped hard. And now is an amazing buying opportunity, again, if you have the guts for it. So could we go lower? Absolutely. My most logical place, again, is about $42,000. And again, I will explain that in a second, because the title of this video, If Tesla Never Bought Bitcoin, I just want to do a little exercise in that. SOPR. Short-term holder, SOPR. I talked about this. This chart is a few days old, and man, I know it's really hard to see on my screen here, but if you can zoom into the bottom right corner here, this was 3 days ago, May 14th. SOPR dip low, and again, that was short-term, a great buying opportunity. In the long run, you will still have looked at that as a great buying opportunity, even though the price dipped even further. And those were things beyond any control of technical analysts, because of all the insanity with Elon and Bitcoiners, all those retards and everything. But SOPR today, I'm sure, is much lower than this. And again, anytime this goes below 1, buying opportunity. Seems like it's a great time to buy right now. And then this is funny. It's just this is where I think we are, or we're maybe a little bit further up here, and maybe we have a little bit more to go. But the bear trap, I really, really believe that this is where we are right now. We're in the bear trap, the point where as we're shooting off, as we're going higher, that there's a low that kind of makes us think, oh, it's over, the bull run's over, so pack your bags, see you in 4 years. And this is where we are. And so how deep will this bear trap go? I mean, I think because of these external factors, because of Bitcoin, Twitter, and Elon Musk, we could absolutely go lower, but again, great buying opportunity, and we'll see how this shapes out, But this is where I'm standing right now. I had a conversation with my wife this morning. She actually strengthened my resolve, which is already very strong, that no, now is not the time. Now is not the time to sell. because that's exactly what the whales want you to do. They want you to sell. They want you to sell their Bitcoin, drive it lower so they can buy even cheaper Bitcoin, because they see this for what it is. They see this as an amazing buying opportunity. Michael Saylor, I'm sure, is doing whatever he can to scrounge up any sort of money he has, MicroStrategy has, and put that into Bitcoin. And so here we go. The title of this video, what if Tesla never bought Bitcoin? This is just an exercise of like, I want to analyze for you what's happened over these last few months. And so I have it about 6 months out, November of 2020. What was the price on November 1st, 2020? Around $13,000. And it kept climbing. Had a little scary point around Thanksgiving where it dipped from a little under $19,000 to 16 something. And I this is hilarious. I remember thinking, like, am I wrong? What if I'm wrong? What if we're just going all the way back down to $10,000 from $16,000? Oh, the horror. And then that dip was very quickly bought up. And then we had about a couple weeks of like, all right, are we going to do this? Are we going to break through that all-time high? That $20,000 resistance was so thick, so heavy, that it just took from our perspective at that time, a long time. It took 2 weeks to break through. And once we broke through, the general consensus was that we were never coming back to $20,000. Okay? And so we broke through and shot up right away. And then for a few days, kind of was like, what are we doing next? And then shot up even more. And so the catapult, this is what happened. There was a catapult. The catapult that we pulled back really hard, ready to break through $20,000. We broke through. That shot us all the way up. That catapult, that slingshot, shot us all the way up to $42,000 on January 8th. That was all of the momentum from breaking $20,000. That was all of it. And here's what should have happened after that is we should have had a long period of consolidation, maybe stretching into March, and with plenty of dips, lots of frustration and things like that. And then after that, we would have shot up a little more, into the 50s, maybe touch 60,000, something like that. I would say somewhere in the 50s, and we'd all be happy that we're in the 50s. Maybe there would have been a dip down to the 40s or something like that, and then shooting up a little higher, and this climbing more and more with plenty of 25% dips along the way. But $42,000, that was a major barrier. And remember, I've said that number before, $42,000. That was a major barrier for us, and it was going to take, in my opinion, several months to break through there. But then one morning, I remember this morning so well, Bitcoin, I woke up, was at $38,000, and I woke up, I had breakfast, I came back, and I did a double take. Bitcoin, after I ate breakfast, was at $43,000. And so I was like, what? What in the world just happened? And so I went to Twitter, because that's where you go when you see major price action like that. You immediately go to Twitter. And what did I find? I found that that Tesla had bought Bitcoin. And that catapult launched us up to, within a few days, not all that long, within 2 weeks, that shot us up to $58,000. And so again, if that never happened, I truly believe that on February 21st, when we topped out at $58,000 that first time, that we would have probably still been in the 30s. Honestly, that we would have just been consolidating somewhere in the 30s, and then eventually we would have just organically shot up. But what this did was that this was kind of like a double whammy of like driving the price of Bitcoin to levels that really, it was way overbought at that time. And so as a result of that, we've had since February 20th, this 3-month period of consolidation that just feels like it's going on forever, when really what should have happened is that there would have been a 2-month period of consolidation here. Maybe sometime in March, we would have broken out. And then we would have shot up higher into the 50s, and then, maybe gone down to the 40s. All I'm saying is right now, let's just say Elon Musk was never born, and Tesla had nothing to do with Bitcoin. Right now, I truly believe that with 25 or 30% dips splashed in there along the way, that Bitcoin would be around $50,000 and that we would be ecstatic. We would be absolutely ecstatic about it. But instead, Bitcoin is at $45,000 and we're terrified. And so, the more Elon Musk's, here's my consolidation to you. I've seen this with Dogecoin. The more Elon Musk tweets about Dogecoin, the less of an effect he has on the price. The more Elon Musk tweets about Bitcoin, the less of an effect he will have on the price, because the Elon Musk factor will be priced in. And that's what's happening with Dogecoin. There isn't much else he can do for the price of Doge. It has to all happen from now on, just through other means. So take with that what you will, but we would be $45,000 if the price was at $45,000 right now, and Elon Musk had never been born. Then we would be pretty happy that the price of Bitcoin was at $45,000. It's all a matter of perspective. We got stretched out way too much. Because of those slingshots, that double slingshot of breaking through $20,000 and then breaking through that barrier of $42,000, slicing through that like butter and shooting up to $58,000. That was all way too premature. Way, way, way too premature, looking back on it. It shouldn't have happened. So, and that's why I'm saying here, $42,000 was a serious psychological barrier. And so here we are. We knocked on the door of $42,000 overnight, got down to $42,100 something. And maybe we'll knock on that door again. But that, to me, given how heavy of a barrier of a resistance that was, I truly believe that is going to be a heavy barrier of support going down. But we could go lower. Yeah, I hate to say it, but we could go lower. But just remember, by no means is this bull run over. So keep that in mind. All right. Have a great day, great week, and let's ride this to the moon. Yes, I'm still going to say that. Let's ride these cryptos to the moon. Peace.